Hey everybody, welcome to Here's Out. I'm Patrick,
And I'm Paul. How's it going?
and in case you hadn't been able to tell by the accents, we are Irish. And
We
because
are
we're
indeed.
Irish, we have to cash in on Paddy's Day like everybody else who's Irish, and everybody who isn't. Don't begrudge it all at all. Squeeze whatever you can out of it. I don't know if people do this for any other holiday like Valentine's. I don't know if there's any particular town that's claiming Valentine is theirs. But I know that the Irish love St Patrick's Day because even though we all say, well, you can't call it St Paddy's Day or anything, you have to say all these things correctly. You can only drink something that's genuinely Irish. If you're drinking a green drink, that's just blah blah blah. I say crap to that. Enjoy the celebration any way you can. Have a bit of fun. It's all a load of waffle, which is what we're about to do. And we're actually going to do two things. We're going to waffle and have fun. Not necessarily at our own expense, again, because we're a little too mean for that. Paul, we're going to do the worst Irish accents in movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey.
This is going to be a heart wrenching kind of rendition of what the world thinks of us. and
Yeah.
um, Now, we should probably preference our accents are from the east of Ireland.
Yeah,
We
well,
are
the one I have
more.
now is, but the one I should have should be from the north
Yeah.
and west.
Well, yeah, because I'm more saying that we have more kind of like uh, monotonal or the least kind of Irish accents that you probably can get as you further go west. Man, it gets difficult to understand people, but
Yeah.
they're still not as bad as some of the accents that are in the movies that we're going to talk about.
True. And before we jump into it, I guess I should, Paul, you're damn right. We should call out that Ireland is about the size of, if you're in America, it's about the size of a large Buick. If you're in Australia, it's about the size of a kangaroo. If you are somewhere else in the world, it's about the size of something else. It's quite small, but we have managed to cram more accents per square foot into this country than anywhere else in the world. You know the way you're in America, people say, "Oh, you go to the next state and it's or the next county and it's a different accent." Yeah, it's a slightly different accent. You can travel 14 miles in this country and you'll be like, "Wow, I don't even know what they're saying." It's kind of funny. We have a lot of accents, so I do feel sorry for all of the people that we are about to pull apart for butchering the accent. Personally, I don't know if I could do an Irish accent on film because I'm not even sure if what I have is an actual recognizable Irish accent. We're all mutts when it comes to this. It's all mixtures of whatever we've had. So if somebody said, "We'll do a typical Irish accent," I'd be like, I don't know what that is. So maybe I'd go all Darby O'Gill in The Little People. You never know.
See, I don't think we will. I think we'd just start using more of the Irish mannerisms and colloquialisms a lot more than we do right now. So we probably say "what's the crack" a lot more. That's grand. That kind like
Yeah.
we'll probably use a lot more colloquialisms. And we use in everyday life anyway.
But sure, would
It's
you be
just that we
tempted to
try.
go for the lilting tone, Paul? Do you think maybe you could talk about priests and tea and butter? The cows. Don't forget the cows now.
I think universally maybe the Father Ted accent might be
Yeah,
that could be a
that's
little
true.
bit more universally known because that is probably the closest to a kind of just bare bones basic kind of
Yeah.
accent. But yeah, man, you go further towards Kerry and stuff like that, and you'll be barely able to understand people.
As somebody who can safely say this with relatives in a lot of different parts of Ireland, so I'm going to just claim that as my excuse to wreck their accents. But to all my friends in Ulster, a lot of people hear you going, "I heard a Gertie, heard you now? Are you heard now? You heard now?" That's what people hear. I grew up speaking that, so not so much for me. But I do not blame anybody else. Now that I've been all citified by the Southerners, I can also
Yeah,
hear that there's a lot of "now you now kai now hi." Let's start
big
picking on
smoke.
other. Yeah, let's start picking on other people real quick, actually. And I've gone for it, Paul. A little Shamrock background on our screen right now because if they can cash in, we can cash in. Well, the first terrible example of an Irish accent. I'm not going to pass judgment on any of these films because some of these films I haven't watched all the way through. And this is one of those ones that I just watched the trailer and went, "Oh wow, that's an attempt at the accent." It's called Leap Year, which, if I understand the premise, is that any leap year, Instead of traditionally men proposing to women, women propose to men. And there's some sort of Irish weird angle to that if you do it in Ireland, it's something that I don't know what crap they came up with. But yeah, Amy Adams. Oh, go for it. Do you know the deal?
I know. Yeah. So
Have
it's
you
meant
watched
to
the
be
movie?
that it. No, I haven't watched the movie. I do know that thing, which is if. So yeah, a leap year is meant to be that women can propose to men. You know,
Which, by the way,
in a
there is no
traditional
can.
sense.
Yeah, everybody can do it.
But if you do it in Ireland, supposedly it's going to last longer. It's got the look of the Irish, and it's meant to be a longer lasting kind of relationship kind of thing. It is absolute horseshit, but
Well, just for any woman out there who's planning on proposing to their man, or especially if you're planning on proposing to your woman, the reason I would say you should come to Ireland to do it is not so that it'll last longer. It's because we could do with the tourism dollars. So bring them here. But also, if you're watching this show, it'd be great to go for a drink. Yeah, so Matthew Good is an English actor, as far as I know, and he is. Amy Adams doesn't have to do it; she gets to do her American accent. But this poor chap has to do an Irish accent, and it's not the worst. But I remember seeing the trailer and absolutely cacking myself at one of the excerpts they had. Like, we'll give you a sample of how bad the accent is.
We're gonna fall! Look what you've done!
What I've done?
You couldn't just wait for the cows!
You couldn't just help me?
It's gonna cost at least 200 to tow her out. It's not gonna come out of my pocket, it's coming out of yours.
Looking at just how the guy's trying, he is really trying, Paul. I give him an A for effort, and we're starting off easy. I'm going to say that his is a C. It's not a complete F. I'm just going to say that he's not consistent enough. It's a bad, but it's by no means going to be the worst on this list.
yeah, okay, yeah. I guess the consistency of it isn't great because like the trailer is very hard to understand in points. Just for anybody, yeah, Matthew Grudy, which goes, he is the which goes,
Ozymandias.
your man from Ozymandias from thing
From Watchmen,
yeah, man. But he is real difficult to understand in parts of this movie, and like it is hilarious because it does just sound like someone isn't making sense and saying anything. But
I love he commits, and there's a moment where he pronounces the word cows, and he just whoa cows. It's like crap. I feel sorry for these people because doing accents is really really difficult. So I'm picking on people that I wouldn't be able to do better than. But that's not what why should I feel guilty? Damn it, it's Paddy's Day. We're going to ruin other people. It's the Irish way.
yeah, bit of slagging, you know.
A bit of slagging, yeah. Actually, there you go. We should use this. Between each one, we should give people a new Irish slang term for those that are watching outside of Ireland. Slagging is giving somebody a rough time, having a bit of a go. It's not necessarily meant in any sort of really hurtful way. So I'm just slagging you. So there you go. You can use that. Take that with you, and use it if you're watching in Taiwan. There you go.
And slagging is not also holds to any kind of like. So you can slag anyone at any point.
Oh, yeah.
There's no bars. You could be at a funeral, you slag them. You could be at a wedding, you slag them. You just slag them. That's all it is.
The most opportune time to slag somebody is if they're a very good friend and they've just done something that you know they're going to be embarrassed about. Like if they, try and look cool walking out of a door somewhere because, they've given the eyes to some girl and then they catch their face on the door on the way out. You're going to slag them for the rest of the day going, do you remember earlier on when you thought you were the coolest guy in the room and then you knocked your head off the door like a plank? That's going to be slagging your friends. And that's also how you know you're good friends because they're the only ones that want to take the time to hurt you.
It is important.
Paul, I'm gonna up the ante with somebody who should have known better because we have some cousins in this country. We have cousins and they live close enough that they're across small stretches of water. That's the Welsh, the English and the Irish for you. Or the Welsh, the English and the Scottish, I should say. And this is one very famous Scot. One Gerard 300 Butler. This is accents. And he did a film called P.S. I Love You. Again, I couldn't be arsed with the plot of this film. But let's put it this way. Hilary Swank's in it. And what's Gerard Butler doing, do you think? What's he doing?
Boston American. Boston Irish. That's what it seems like he's really trying to go for.
Gotcha.
It's like because that's the thing is if you take it as Boston Irish, it's kind of okay.
It starts
But
making a lot more sense.
I think he's meant to be like
Oh, yeah.
an Irish lad, so
Oh, yeah.
it's like ooh,
Talking about waiting for what? I've been driving limos for 4 years, Harley. So John and me, we want to start a business. We buy a few cars, we get a few clients. That's a career right there. What is your problem?
No excuse. Also, no excuse for a Scottish guy. At the very least, he's had one Irish person that he grew up with, whether he liked them or he didn't. All Scottish people have had at least one Irish friend. All Irish people have at least one Scottish friend. It's the way it works. Them's the law.
we pair off.
We do.
But yeah, it's a difficult one, and it's if you take it as Boston Irish, it's a little bit easier to swallow and stuff like that. But man, it is.
Yep.
Like,
So we're still saying bad, and part of the reason that he's getting an extra kick on this one is because he's Scottish and should know better. Still,
so it's D,
going to get worse. A D, yeah. I think C minus, D, D plus sort of
D
thing.
minus.
Yeah. Because then, Paul, we get to what I call... I describe this as bordering on racism. And this is where my friends from Ulster and up north are going to feel quite aggrieved. Not because of the content of the story, or even the title of the movie, now that I realise I'm about to say it. Blown Away. Tommy Lee Jones plays what was typical of the time. If you're going to have somebody who's Irish, of course they're going to be involved in bombing things, because that's what Hollywood did for about 14 years there. It's not what we're here to talk about, because this isn't about politics, this is about accents. And my God, it's a political crime that Tommy Lee Jones did the accent he did. He tried to do Northern Irish via Lucky Charms, he pulled that through a lot. I fear he may have had 6 different dialect coaches, none of whom actually liked him.
That's probably That's what makes way more sense than because I just don't understand. They can go to these places. They're actors. They definitely have the money to go to these places and maybe go to a pub and talk a little bit about to the locals and stuff like that. But what are you gonna do?
In the actor's defense, maybe Tommy Lee Jones showed up perfectly with a fine Irish or a grand Irish accent. Let's Irish this up. A grand Irish accent. Maybe even a posh grand Irish accent. And the director was like, would you ever give a bit of the Darby O'Gill? And he's like, okay, leprechaun terrorist it is. Because that's what he managed to pull out.
Listen to me, Leo McGivney. I've come to bring you a gift.
What gift is that, Garrity?
It's the gift of pain, of course.
So Tommy is definitely in, like, the other two should have known better. This one shouldn't have been allowed. So Tommy's our first for me on the list of, oh, that's just wrong. It's bad wrong.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, it's a atypical kind of like, Irish accent that people who aren't Irish try to pull off on people.
Yeah,
it's just a little bit turned up more northern than the rest.
Yeah, which means he tried to do some research but didn't do the right research. And you know what, Paul? Because we should blow through these. Richard Gere in the Jackal, similar thing, except slightly different, because Richard Gere in the Jackal, he gets it right so much on so many words. And you're like, wow, Richard Gere can do maybe somewhere around Newry, maybe, I don't know, mid Northern Ireland. He can actually do it. Then he just doesn't. It is so bad because it's so good in places. For every moment he does something good, he has 5 that are terrible, and usually they're in quick succession, so you're like, ugh. It's like listening to a radio that somebody is turning the tuning knob on. You're getting the song in and out. You're like, wow, you can do it. No, you can't. You can do it. No, you can't. Yeah, I almost feel bad about saying that he did a terrible job, because if you listen to 3 seconds of it, you'd be like, that's really good. But then you listen to the next 6 and you're like, oh, what's he doing?
So the Jackal's after your director, is he? Let's tell him to get his affairs in order. 'Cause nobody can save him now. Nobody, except me. Because I met him. Oh yeah, didn't I mention it?
It's like he learned phrases, but in between those was dialogue. So that's the problem. So he learned phrases really, really well, and they kind of let him lead into a little bit of the dialogue. But as he goes further into the dialogue and further away from that phrase, it starts going away. And then he gets to the safety point of going back into his phrase and then getting a little bit of a boost. Because that's what it sounds like. It seems like it, as you said, it goes Irish and then not, Irish and then not. You know,
yeah,
it's so bad.
And
in the moments when it's not,
you know, to give and again, Tommy Lee Jones to Richard Gere to Brad Pitt, which is the next one up, Devil's Own. This is our little terrorist trio where everybody did this. Paul, I'm going to let you take it on Brad Pitt in Devil's Own because, like, he should be able to. He's shown that he can do accents. What happened here?
Brad Pitt is one of the weirdest ones because he also does if he did some Irish training and stuff like that, it seems like he definitely got like, you know, a weird mix of people because he's also in Snatch.
See what's about how you saw it. Now look, I've helped as much as I'm gonna help. You see that car? I suggest you use it for you're not welcome anymore.
Doing a completely different dialect for a different community in Ireland. And
yeah,
okay, it's slightly parody the way he does it, but it's a hell of a lot closer, from what I'm told, than what we've heard in The Devil's Own.
Devil's Own is just a weird kind of mixture of just, I don't know, as you said, Lucky Charms and kind of the Irish ideal of. It's like he went to Chicago and Boston and went, nah, not those, and then he went to just, I guess, the little people again, and just went, that's not Irish enough.
He adds this particular, almost, I'm afraid to say it, as in he's afraid to say it, I'm afraid of my own accent, because he does a bit of I'm going to pull back from even committing to saying the words. I'm just going to, see what you don't understand, Harrison Ford, is I'm going to try and whisper my way out of this so nobody realises I'm not sure what accent I'm doing.
We're normal people in an abnormal situation, fighting a disgusting, ugly war that you can't understand because you haven't lived it. I'm sorry, it's going badly between us.
It's a weird that is, I will say, out of all of them, he does commit to it. He does commit to, because in Snatch he's also committing to that one as well. But it's a weird kind of like monodroned kind of continuous weird mumbled accent of Irish, but it's like it is more kind of like it's because I think every time I listen to it I'm just like, wow, you are really kind of playing into a side that no one knows, like unless he went to Newfoundland up in Canada and has accents that we no longer have anymore, and there's one there.
Look, maybe he spent all his time at like Glendalough and Wicklow and spoke to a bunch of American tourists that were picking up the Irish accent. I don't know. Look, again, fair play to you, Brad. Fair play to all these people for trying. Good on you. Didn't work out well. I would love, if you're in the comments below and you completely disagree and you think these are all perfect Irish accents, I'd love to hear from you. People are probably going to be dropping in links where people have made videos, the best Irish accents, and they're all the ones that we pick and think are terrible.
It would be real funny.
It would be funny, because ours is a country of not just varying accents, but absolutely a whole load of opinions, as I point at myself. I stand over this as far as I have to. It's a Paddy's Day video, folks. Let's have a bit of fun. If you happen to love this accent, or Brad Pitt's sounds exactly like your brother, I mean no offense to your brother. Also, just check, is Brad Pitt your brother? Because that'd be fucking awesome.
That'd be cool.
That would be really cool. Also, comment in the link in the thing down below where we can meet you and your brother, because I wouldn't mind meeting Brad Pitt. I think he's very talented. And from the sublime to the, well, let's face it, a man who's an arsehole. If we're going to teach people Irish phraseology, arsehole. Or if you want to go to another part of the country, show lots of S's and H's and E's in it, arsehole. He's some arsehole, that buck. Well, Kevin Spacey is, he's an arsehole. And he made a film called Ordinary Decent Criminal about another Irish crime lord, so hence arsehole, because people get hurt. Weird thing is, we've talked about people's accents being all over the place. I think Kevin Spacey is the only one who set himself a challenge of, I'm going to do all of them. I'm going to do them all consecutively. It's like he had a checklist and he's like, I am doing every Irish accent there is. and I'm going to do some American ones while I'm at it. It felt like showing off, because it didn't just feel inconsistent. It was like, am I watching modern art right now? Because your accent shouldn't be changing that fast or that much. You're doing this on purpose, because they all are distinctive Irish accents. They're just not even remotely close to each other.
It does feel that he's decided that it's a mood kind of thing, and it's just like that's how Irish accents work. It's just a mood. The more like angry you get, the more, you know, culty you get, and it's just, you know, that's how it works, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I do love watching him sit down and talk to the kids, and he's just like, well, I'll never.
Okay. Long, long ago, years ago, before you were born, and your ma and me and Auntie Lisa were very young, we all lived in a place called the Mansions.
And you're just like, where in Dublin is that from? Because that is not Dublin, man. And you're meant to be from Dublin. You're meant to be an urban Dublin guy, so
that is
where is the higher? It's meant to go higher.
Yeah,
higher.
That is the cardinal sin here. That he was playing a particular Dublin accent, and that is an accent that is maybe in this country the furthest away from any Darby O'Gill. Like it is just the last one that you're going to do that with. There's not going to be a begosh or begorrah to it. But yeah, Kevin Spacey can do impressions or impersonations. I don't know why he couldn't do accents, or as it turns out, he can. I don't know why he chose to do all of them. And particularly when he throws in just flat American accent, it's like he was just a bit bored. And some of that happens when he's wearing a balaclava. So he's obviously looping the sound in, you know, ADR. He's doing recording afterwards. Maybe he was on the sauce or something. He was like, second half of the day, I'll just use my own accent for a few of these lines. It'll be fine. Who cares? No one's going to see this. It's an Irish movie.
Yeah. I love... Kevin Smith's kind of accents with it is just, the gourd.
Well, Paul, do you want to take the next one? Tom Hanks, Cloud Atlas. Because I love Tom Hanks, and I find it hard to be mean about Tom Hanks.
Well, this is the thing. It's weird that Tom Hanks decided to do an Irish accent in this, because it's nothing to do with Ireland. It's not set in Ireland. Yeah. It's just like, I guess, after an apocalypse, and he's just an Irish dude. Or just Irish is mixed in there. It's a weird kind of choice for an actor to do an Irish accent in a post-apocalyptic Stone and Bronze Age kind of resurgence of a people, that he's just like, you know what I choose? I choose Irish. Irish is the best accent to go with here. It's a bit culty, it's a bit kind of like rural, it'll be fine, it's definitely survivable.
You think someone's going to hear your prayer? Come down from the sky.
That's the thing. This is a film that bounces over and back in different. Like Cloud Atlas is quite the jumping around the space-time continuum, let's say. Mm-hmm. And I just have to assume that Irish wasn't his choice. Irish was the subject matter's choice, because I've never seen all of Cloud Atlas. I tried to watch it in an airplane, and my airplane landed, and I never went back to actually watch it. You know, one of those things where you're like, well, like squeeze this one in, and no, we were making good time in the air that day. So I've never gone back and watched it, and I should. But do you think he chose it, or did it come from the source material? Because I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't read Cloud Atlas, so I don't know if the character is meant to be Irish or have an Irish like kind of edge to their accent. I think that it's just like, if it was his or the director's, it was essentially trying to make it so far from the rest of the accents that he's doing throughout that timeline that that's what they went with, essentially.
Well,
and, like, you know, so in excusing Tom Hanks because we both love him,
yes,
it makes sense in a kind of like, we need to differentiate enough from these three characters that we're going to make one of them kind of, you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have an additional award tonight, fellow book fairies. An award for most eminent critic, Mr. Oh, beg pardon, Sir Felix Fitch, OB and E.
You know.
Can I go out on a limb here and say that it's not a good job, Tom? You didn't do a good job with the Irish accent. That's why you're on this list. But when we're rating you, we're giving you the Tom Hanks rating. So you're getting a B. And if you weren't Tom Hanks, we're not going to tell you how many letters further down the alphabet you'd be. But let's just say it would be a couple. It wouldn't be just one. Yeah, poor old Tom Hanks. You can do no wrong, Tom. You can do no wrong. People that can do wrong, and Paul, I'm so glad you reminded me of this. I haven't seen this movie. I did see a trailer, Wild Mountain Thyme. And just so you know, folks, thyme is spelt like the herb, not the passage of existence. So, should we pick on Emily Blunt? Should we pick on Christopher Walken? Like, everybody that's in this, in the trailer at least, I think they hate Irish people. Or it's just a really good gag.
They better be slagging Irish people. That's the only way that... Because, okay, so let's go through the thing. Jamie, Jamie Dornan.
Yeah, Jamie Dornan's from up north.
Yeah, he's an Irish lad, so he's literally the only one that gets a pass because he is Irish. He was doing an Irish accent. Wasn't even putting on one. Wasn't even like, turning up the Irish a little bit more in it. Fine kind of Irish accent. And Emily Blunt, Christopher Walken, John Hamm.
Emily Blunt's English. She has, again, we gave Jared Butler the extra dressing down. I think she deserves it too, although she's in that category of she can do no wrong because she's amazing. But, my God, she definitely has met enough Irish people to know that what was going on was not great.
It's not normal.
I don't care.
You take after John Kelly, and that man was mad as the full moon. Drowned himself.
He fell in.
He had a rock tied to his neck.
Because I cannot blame her for not going, sorry, Chris, Mr. Walken, sir, your accent's atrocious. Because that's Christopher Walken. He can do whatever he wants. He'd be like, my gold.
I love these.
The rainbow. I can't. I'm not doing it, Walken, because I'll fuck it up. But I would.
Have I put too much pressure on you?
Yeah, no, I backed out of it. I lost the bottle. I do have a Walken when nobody's looking, just like I have a Jack Nicholson when nobody's looking. But the minute there's a microphone or anybody's ears nearby, it disappears. His is terrible, but why would Christopher Walken need? Christopher Walken gets a pass. Everybody else. Well, okay. Yeah, he should. It is terrible.
It's real. I would say that it's one of the worst. And it's not Christopher Walken's fault. It's Christopher Walken trying to do an accent. He's not built for it. They shouldn't have forced him to do it. They should have been like, Chris, you're fine. Don't worry about it. No one's going to... You're Christopher Walken. No one's going to care that you don't sound like you're an Irish person.
No, that's out of the question. It's just not the way I do it.
But, Paul, there is one that tops them all. There is one that stands above. It's myth. It's Irish legend. It's Far and Away. It's everybody's favourite Tom Cruise. Everybody's favourite American and Australian doing an Irish accent. Because you've got Tom Cruise. I'm not even going to say doing an Irish accent. And you've got... Nicole Kidman failing at trying to do an Irish accent. But at least she tried and failed. I think he sailed right round the Cape of Accent and did not touch land. He set his compass and he missed. He missed by a lot.
I'm Joseph Donnelly, of the family Donnelly, that you pushed off our land.
What in the name of God are you talking about?
Prepare to pay for your crimes.
Yeah, I will agree. Yeah, Kate did a great. I think she took I think it's the confidence in the accent that she decides to take that really kind of does it well. Like, it's still terrible, but at least she had the confidence to be just like, this is the one I'm choosing, and this is what we're gonna get, and it's consistent, and it's once again back from like, I guess this is a little bit better because it's like set in that time, kind of thing. But man, Tom Cruise, because he's done other Irish accents as well throughout films and stuff like that, and they don't get better. Like, and he's had a couple of tries at it.
I hadn't really stopped to consider that he has had a few bites of the apple. I think the reason Far and Away stuck with me is because and if you probably remember this too, Far and Away happened and everybody in Ireland was like, oh my God, Tom Cruise, Irishman, Nicole Kidman, this is all going to be very, like, Ireland's going to get a bit of a moment in the sun. And then he's like, tell me why you don't like me hat.
Tell me you like my hat.
You're not wearing a hat.
Say it. Say you like my hat.
You're not wearing a hat.
Why can't you say it, Shannon? Why can't you say you like my hat? Why can't you say you like my suit?
That'll do, Peg. That'll do. Like, you just...
like someone...
You stop now.
It's like someone described an Irish accent without using an Irish accent. Or showing any example of an Irish accent.
Yeah.
It's like they try to verbally describe it.
Well,
it's a bit like melodic kind of things, but then stops suddenly, and it kind of goes very high at places. Doesn't go really low, high, and you're just like.
And look, for all those people out there that are like, why would you want to get the accent right anyway? I hate the Irish accent. Because we have one commenter who, thank you very much for your interaction, by the way. The one guy that keeps commenting to say he hates us and he hates our Irish accents. Love you, brother, because love to see comments, positive or negative. Also, you help the analytics, so cheers, brother. The other thing is, yeah, you don't have to like the accent, but if you're going to try and do it, you have to do it a little bit better than what was done there. Tom Cruise is not the only one in Far and Away that gets it wrong. He just maybe has the most opportunity on screen to get it wrong. I'd like to file that whole film with just about anybody who wasn't natively Irish doing an Irish accent as, don't listen to Sean Connery when he says, I can teach you how to do an Irish accent. Because that's what I feel is really behind it. I think there was a Hollywood get-together and a few people who thought they could do it, who were foreign enough. I think there was a bunch of Scottish and English people and probably a Welsh dude in there, or a Welsh lady in there somewhere going, we can teach you the Irish accent, don't worry. And then they're all laughing their asses off going, did you see Tom Cruise in Far and Away? He bought it. Yeah, so I'm going to almost give him a pass that I think he may have been victim to a cruel joke played by Connery or Roger Moore. Something Bondy. I feel like they were all in a room and he was young and impressionable. Otherwise, it was just shit, Tom.
I was like, I don't give him a pass. He knows better.
He should. Well, Paul, did you want to give? I think the only one that we missed on the list here that you'd actually mentioned, and I noticed I didn't add to our list. You mentioned Daniel Day-Lewis's opus of Gangs of New York, where everybody that wasn't him and the other side of. Who is that? Let's see. Oscar winner. What's his name?
Oh, Leonardo
DiCaprio.
Leo DiCaprio.
I've been called a lot of things, mister, but I ain't never been called...
Fiddlin' Ben.
Fiddlin' Ben's, right. Well, if I knew what in the hell that meant, I'd be inclined to take offense.
Good.
Let me just tell you, everybody who's not Irish in that film, and I think that's one person, like as in one person is Irish. No, that's not true. There's a fair thing, because Lewis C Kelly, is that his name?
Okay, I'll probably know him when I see him.
He's the guy who plays like the brother of Will Ferrell and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
I may have got
John C.
name,
Reilly.
but,
John C. Reilly. I was nearly going to say Philip Seymour Hoffman. Stop having three names, people. Can you not see we're struggling with the two?
Like he tries to do he tries to do that kind of like real common kind of like comical kind of Irish accent. Leo tries to do a tonal kind of one that's half American, half like which is Irish. Cameron Diaz decides to go Angela's Ashes on the whole thing. Like, I know Gangs in New York is meant to be like, they're from all walks of life.
Yeah.
It's just like, a lot of them were meant to be Irish, and Ireland didn't have like there was at least a thread through most of that time of like accents, and it just
Don't tell me you're angry with me.
No, I'm through with you.
Well, you're quicker than most fellas. Generally, they wait till afterwards.
Because Daniel Day-Lewis is actually just American. He's just like American. At least he's fine.
He's the one
But,
that
like,
could have done the Fleming accent. I
say he would, yeah.
It's so weird. It's so weird that he got. It must be odd for him standing there watching other people going, God, if I was doing that part, I'd do the accent, because he's got it in him, obviously from a history of being from here. Anyway, we don't think that Irish people are great. We think that all people are great. This is not a video about yay Ireland. This is a video about screw it, it's Paddy's Day. We better do something fun and green. We've even turned our lights green. Shamrocks and other such. And accents that you've heard. None of this is serious. All of this is fun. If you love our accents, then leave a comment down below. If you're the dude that hates them, thanks for watching all the way through the video. Sorry that we've tortured you. I'm sorry, I'm just having fun with that guy now. Paul, should we put a call out to others now? I would love people from around the world to give the best example of someone doing their accent badly. And we might take some of those nominations and either do something on the socials or maybe do something on here.
Yeah. Also, if you have an Irish accent, I was going to say keep it to yourself, but why don't you give it a go? Put it on up onto our socials, and we'll see. We'll rank you on your Irish thing.
Now I understand.
Only during the Paddy's Day thing.
I thought you meant if you have an Irish accent, as in you're Irish. I thought you were going to say feck off. Go on, get fecked.
If you have an Irish accent that you think is good, why don't you send it to us? Why don't you take a recording and send it to us in social? We'll give you this. Now we won't be mean. We will slag you.
You're right up
but
there.
We won't be mean.
We won't be mean.
Yeah, we'll slag him. We'll slag him.
He won't be mean. I'm promising. Fuck all. Anyway, do yourself a favour, folks. Hit like, share, and subscribe, and all that good stuff. But more than anything else, enjoy yourselves. Take care of yourselves. This is another day in a week. It's nothing special. But every day you get to spend with people that you love is special. So tell them you love them. And I'm telling you from us that every second you spend with us is appreciated. Because I know, Paul, you and I talk about it. The idea that we have 20 seconds of video view means the world to us. Because that's 20 seconds out of someone's life that they gave to listening to us curse and be Irish on St Patrick's Day.
Yep. So thank you very much. Sláinte.
Oh yeah. We should teach one. What's a typical Irish goodbye? Oh yeah, it's always threatening. Irish goodbyes are always slightly threatening. It's like, oh yeah, take it handy, take care, see you now. Yeah. It's basically, if you're a stalker, anything you would say to somebody to freak them out, that's how Irish people say goodbye. It's like, all right, look after yourself. Why? What do you know is going to happen to me? Why did you just say that? Irish people are scary.
I'll see you later.
See you, yeah. Yeah, look after yourself now. Mind how you go. Why, what the hell is down here?
Mind how you go is a great one when you're walking and when you're walking in different directions. It's always really fun to say that one. Especially to people who aren't used to it.
Yeah, I'll give it the most Irish of things. Good luck and feck off. We're done with you now. You can't stay here. The pub's closing. All right, Paul, I will talk to you soon.
See you later, guys.
Bye, everyone.